The world is awash in data. Doxserá DB gives ordinary people the ability to use that data. Many will see this video and think, wow, but a few will see this video and think, wow, this changes everything. We're not going to cover the hundreds of features that Doxserá DB has inherited from the form tool in Doxserá. Instead, we'll demonstrate its amazing ability to draw upon external data. I'm going to be using two external data sources today. The first is this library Excel spreadsheet, which has one worksheet describing authors, another worksheet describing books, and a third worksheet describing borrowers along with their addresses. The second data source is just a one worksheet workbook called Branches, which just lists the various branches of my library. This form is designed to provide information about a specific author. The form user is asked to select an author from the database of available authors. I'll choose Herman Melville. And next, the form user chooses a particular book by that author. Here I have all the books by Herman Melville. I'll choose Moby Dick. And when I click the Fill button, Doxserá DB reaches into two different Excel worksheets to gather and present all the information needed in this flawless, readable format designed by the form creator. This form demonstrates Doxserá DB's ability to use multiple data sources in a single form and to use the relationships between those data. Here we have information about a particular borrower, including the last book they borrowed, and that's related to information about the author of that book, listing other books by the same author. Here we have that particular borrower's local branch of the library based on the relationship between a particular borrower and the branch that exists in that state in a separate workbook. Here we have information pulling straight from the questionnaire where the user types it in manually. Let's try it out. First, I'll select a borrower. I'll choose Betty Barnes. And here, I'm just going to manually type in the name of the signer. I'll click Fill. And we have all our information about Betty Barnes from one Excel worksheet, including the book that she borrowed. From another worksheet, here is the author's name, including other titles by that author. From a whole separate workbook, we have the name of the local branch for Betty and the name of the signer. But what if I need to send this letter out to all of the library's borrowers? When I answer this "Who is the borrower?" question, instead of choosing a single borrower, I can click the MultiTalk tab to create a whole set of finished documents. When I click Fill, I get to choose which borrowers to include. I'll include all 4 of them here. And I get to choose where the finished documents wind up. I'm going to save them in this results folder, which is currently empty. There's number 1, 2, 3, 4. And I've created 4 finished documents. I end up with a letter to Alan Ames regarding Moby Dick and other books by Herman Melville, a letter to Betty Barnes personalized with a reference to Tom Sawyer and other books by Mark Twain, and so on. Each letter individually customized for that borrower. Here's my favorite. With DB's direct access, I can retrieve any data from any source and put it in any format I like, instantly. I click Fill, and here I have a report of all my titles, along with their authors, and down at the bottom here, some nice totals as well. I can even pick and choose what data I want. In this form, when I click Fill, I first get a list of the 5 books which were from the 19th century, then the 12 books which are by women, and then the 3 books that are by Mark Twain. You already have the data. Doxserá DB will give you the answer, whatever the question.